Everyone's a photographer. But you need to understand light. And that's, I think, the most important part, is to really be able to see light and see texture and see color. That's just really important. It takes a long time to be able to see all that. Well, the number one selling camera is the iPhone. Between all the filters and apps and things that people now can do to their images, it's just more instant. I don't know if people understand the thought behind it. I had a 35 millimeter camera, but there was no manipulation after that, really. It was just done. So now you can do all kinds of things with your images. My work more now is on the back end of editing than it was. My first job out of college was at a processing lab where people would drop off their rolls of film and you would develop it and print it. But whether it was C41 or E6 or black and white. And I think I did black and white printing in the darkroom, and I also ran one of the machines and did like package printing, which is like the things you would get when you went to elementary school, and you'd get like an 8x10 and 5x7 and a bunch of wallets on one sheet of paper. I didn't last there very long because I didn't make that much money, and then I went to I went to I think it was called National Schools Studio, and I traveled all over Western New York with a handful of other people in this big van, and we would take school photos of elementary and high school kids. It was I don't know, really a pretty crappy job, but it paid pretty well. And we had these old cameras. I don't even know what they were, but they were all self-contained and housed in these big metal steel, I don't know what they were, but you would load a huge reel of film in there, and you couldn't even look through the cameras. Nothing that you could look through. You would just set it up, and there had to be a viewfinder. And then there was a piece of string, a filthy, dirty string with knots in it, that you would take from the camera, and you would line it up to the kid's nose, and then you would know it was in focus. And then you would hand them a comb, a plastic comb, and maybe you'd comb their hair, and you would take a picture. I don't think there was as much pressure on people then in general when you graduated. I mean, for sure I wanted to get a job in photography, but I don't think it is like it is now with kids graduating in their degrees to get a job immediately in what they studied. So apparently this house is supposed to be super weird. It gives Susan all kinds of weird heebie-jeebies.
Why?
I have no idea. Find out. Susan and I have been working together. This magazine will be our 19th year, which I know, that's really hard to believe. I just don't. I think it should be one or the other. It should either be the gun. Or so again, when I started out with Susan, everything was the View camera. So, and I look at that work. I've got a lot of that work in those boxes down there. But again, beautiful 4x5 transparencies. Everything's lit. I shoot a ton of Polaroid. To make that shot on that piece of film, because once it was scanned, the printer, they could make some adjustments. Actually, they can make quite a few adjustments, but I made none. So I just gave them the best possible image I could on that sheet of film, and then it was out of my hands. So I have gotten to see some really pretty nice houses by doing this. I mean, really, some people, they had a lot of money.
Yes.
So as you can see,
Okay, that looks cool. Oh, I see. It changes everywhere. Or is that just
This is the default. I'm just changing all the colors, but you can change it so that
Like this is one color, and these lights over here are a different color.
So why don't you come and look at this, Susan? I'm not lighting it all.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I'm gonna get.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Right.
super cool.
I was gonna try. Oh, here, let me just move it a little
Okay,
bit.
good.
I don't know. I like to be able to see things differently than maybe most people do, or take time really looking at it. And I think too, in your lifetime, I mean, it, if I make 10 amazing photographs, which I have not done that yet, I'd be happy. Like that trip that I took to Utah, that photo tour trip. I really have never really gone through all those images. I mean, I've kind of looked at them, but maybe I've got one image that I like a real lot. I don't know. I just look at it and analyze it and think about it too much and you know, oh, I should have focused here, should have focused there, or the color, or the time of day, or sometimes you need to just step away from it and put it away for a while and then go back to it and you think, oh, that's not too bad. And I think this too was playing around with the macro. I do like these rocks. So I've done nothing to these files, and you can watch the water come in and out here. And again, well, whatever, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I have a 10-stop neutral density filter that probably would have been interesting to try out here. When we were there, I really like the rocks. I like the shape of the rocks. So I was trying some really low camera angles. You know, just trying to get the rocks in the foreground and then the cool, interesting bluffs in the background. Yeah, I haven't really done much with these. I don't know, I think this one's a little kind of pretty. So here, obviously, I made it into a black and white. I just like being outside, and I like just looking at stuff. I still, even if I'm driving, if I see something, I still get all excited if it looks like wow, look at that lighting, and gosh, too bad I don't have a camera, or too bad I can't stop my car. I think I made the right choice going into photography. I really enjoy it. I have this vast collection of images. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm going to do with all those things. Perhaps you can have a bonfire 10 or 20 years from now. But I do have mountains of work. I've always enjoyed it. It's everything. It's a lot of fun.